Probably get one or two there. And get it all kind of, you see more anywhere else? No, I got it. Okay. Okay.
We're gonna do a short lesson today, and then everybody knows if we were distance tomorrow, everybody knows to go on to Schoology and look under messages. No, we have to have stuff on by 8:30. But, and you don't need to post anything for me tomorrow. You can bring it to class the following day. Okay? If I put a worksheet there, you can just open the worksheet up and do it on notebook paper. Please listen, you guys. If it's a worksheet, I will post it. If you don't have a printer, don't worry about it. Just, do the problems and then you can turn it in the following day. If we were gone tomorrow, I'm also gone on Thursday, so I'll just do my best to try to come up with some review stuff or something. Not quite certain how I'll do that, but Thursday I'll be in the building, but I have to observe teachers, so I won't be in class, so. All right, so today we're gonna start section 5.2, and like I said, today's gonna be short because of the 3-hour early out. The schedule I did put on the board if you haven't seen it, so we get out at 43. So what's gonna happen today is you're gonna see something like this or this. And these are called composition of functions when you see that circle like that. This is different than f times g of x. Okay, that's when you multiply the two functions. This is different than that. When you have that circle, what you do is this. You're gonna take the g of x and think of that as in brackets and then put the f out front, and I'll show you what we do with that down here. If the g is first, what happens is you put the f of x in brackets and you have the g out front. Now, what you're going to do today is you'll be given two functions, one of which is f of x, one of which is g of x. When you see this, I typically rewrite it and I put the f out front and I put the g of 3 in brackets. And what you do is you start here and you take your g function and you put 3 in for x. So if we're going to do g of 3, what we would do is just substitute 3 in there and evaluate it. So you're basically going 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So g of 3 is 7. Okay. Then what you have to do is you take whatever you get here, which is 7, and you put it in there. And so what you're basically finding then is f of 7. Okay, so whatever you get here, you put in here, and then you're finding f of 7. What that means is take your f function and put 7 in for x and evaluate it. So you'd go 7 squared minus 4. 7 squared is 49. 49 minus 4 is 45. That would be our final answer, is the 45. So if we go down here again, I always rewrite them. The g in this case would be outside. The f of 3 would be in brackets. You always start with the brackets. So what that is telling you is take your f of x function this time and put 3 in for X. So if I do f of 3, it's going to be 3 squared minus 4. And 3 squared minus 4, 3 squared is 9, 9 minus 4 is 5. So f of 3 is 5, okay? Then what we do, whatever we get from here goes into this. So now what we're doing is we're finding g of 5. So we go to our g function this time, and we put 5 in for x. So we would go 2 times 5 plus 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So our final answer then would be 11. Does that make sense? All right, so let's try this again. So again, this one we have F, and this means composition of F and G of 2, okay? So the F goes outside, we start with the G of 2. And G of 2, I'm going to take this function and put 2 in for both of these x's, okay? So it's going to be 2 times 2 squared plus 2. So you could type that into your calculator if you wanted. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay. Now we take that 10 and we put it in there. So what we would be finding next is f of 10. So we'd go up to this and we'd put 10 in for x, which would be negative 10 plus 8, which is negative 2. Now, if I go down here, this time we're going to put 2 in for f. So we're going to put 2 into this one. So f of 2 would be negative 2 plus 8, which is 6. Okay, and then we're going to take that 6 and put it into G. So we would be doing G of 6, and G of 6, G is 2x squared plus x. So it'd be 2 times 6 squared plus 6, because it's 2x squared plus x, so plus 6. Now, again, that might be one you put in your calculator. 6 squared is 36, times 2 is 72, and 72 plus 6 is 78. So that is our final answer. Okay. You guys feel like you get that part? Everybody okay with that? Please skip on to the next part. Okay. The second kind of problem, basically what they're going to do, and we'll just kind of start with this, is they're going to give you 2 different functions of ordered pairs. Okay, so F is these 4 ordered pairs, G is these 4 ordered pairs. Okay, and what they're going to ask you first is to find F, and that means composition of G. Okay, so here's how you do this. So watch, it's not hard, but you just have to know where to start. If it's F circled G, you start with your G of X first, and you go to that first point. And if it's 8, 15, whatever the last number here is, you go back up to this line and you see if there's a 15 first in these ordered pairs. So do you see how there's a 15 here and a 15 here? What it is like this one is 8, 15. The one up here is 15, 11. And basically what you do is you cross out these and your answer would be 8, 11. You guys get that? And so that would go down here. And you're really supposed to put your answers in like braces, like this. So the first one would be 8, 11. Now, if I look at that next point, and you do not have to write this every time, do you see how this is 5, 1? You want to look for a point up here that starts with 1, and sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And this time we do, we have 1, 8. So what happens is this crosses out and this crosses out, and our answer would be 5, 8. And then we add that down here. But like I said, once you get good at this, you're not going to be writing this out. The next point is 10, 14. So you're going to look for one up here that starts with 14, which is 14, 9. And then these cancel and we have 10, 9. Okay. Then the last point is 9, 0. So you're going to look for a point up here that starts with 0, which we have one that's 0, 13. These cancel, and what you're left with is 9, 13, and that goes down here. Now, when you do your answers for this, on the worksheet, I'll have this, and then domain, and then range. So really, these are the 3 lines you have to do. And when they say domain, what they're asking you for is what are your X values above? You're really supposed to put them from smallest number to biggest, but don't worry about that. That's kind of a picky thing. So all you do is list your X's. So you would just go 8, 5, 10, and 9, and put it in kind of like bracelets. Just put a squiggly on each side. For the range, what you do is just list your Y values. Okay, so we'd go 11, 8, 9, 13. And like I said, really, you're supposed to put those numbers from left to right, but or from small to big, sorry. This is your answer, this whole thing. This part that I did, if you don't need to do that, don't worry about it. Okay, so that is when you do F circle G, you start with G first. When they give you G circle F, whatever one is listed last, that's the one you start with. Okay, so let's try to do this one without writing it all out like that. So if I start with this one and it's 1, 8, do you guys get, you want to find one down here that has an 8? And you get that your 8s cancel, so it'd be 1, 15. Okay, this one is 0, 13. Now notice down here, there is not one that has a 13. Then you don't worry about it. You just skip that one. There's nothing that starts with 13, we don't worry. Now I have 15, 11, and I'm looking if I have an X that's 11 and I don't, so then I don't worry about it. 14, 9, you look, do you have one that starts with 9? And I do. Again, these 9s would cancel and we would be left with 14, 0, like that. Okay. Now for your domain again, you just list your Y or your X value, sorry. And then your range, you list your Y value. So it'd be 15 and 0. Now, if we go to our last page here, I have to show you this because there's a different thing that can happen. So I have to show you this one. So again, if it's F circle G, you start with G. You start with the G. And you'd go 4, 3, and you'd find one up here that has a 3 first. Remember, your 3s cancel, so you'd get 4, -2. Right? 2, -1, there is a -1 up here. These cancel, so it'd be 2, -5. Okay. 9, 4, there's a 4 here, 4's cancel, so it'd be 9, 7. 3, 10, 10, 8, 10's cancel, so it's 3, 8. So this one had all 4 points. It'll be the next one that's different. So here for your domain, just list your x's, 4, 2, 9, and 3. And then for our range, we'll list our y's, -2, -5, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, if we go to this last one, this is the one that's going to be different. So again, if it's G, circle F, you start with F. You always start with the second one. So if I look at 3, -2, I need an X down here that's -2, and notice there isn't one. If I go -1, -5, I need a -5 down here, and there isn't one. If I go 4, 7, I need a 7, and there isn't one. If I go 10, 8, I need an 8, and there isn't one. If that happens where there's nothing, you put undefined here. So your composite function is undefined. And when they ask you to put your domain and range, there's nothing to put in there. So we use this symbol. It's like a circle with a diagonal line through it. And what it means is empty set. And that just means there's nothing in the domain and there's nothing in the range. Is that hard today? Get it? Okay. So I will get you the worksheet and hopefully you can finish in class. I do have a key up here. And I'll post it on Schoology, but I don't know if I'll get it. And then tomorrow, just watch Schoology for a message from me, and probably what I'll do is put a couple of review problems for you on there. And if you don't have a printer, just do them on notebook paper, and then you'll turn it in the next day in class. Bless you.